Hello, everyone, and welcome to this Southeastern 14 preview. It is a Week 3 preview of SEC football action, as actually it's some cross-conference action here. The Big Ten coming down and Penn State down to SEC country and taking on the Auburn Tigers. And we have a lot to get to in this matchup. But first, make sure you're following this channel, subscribe, turn on notifications, give us a like while you're in here if you enjoy this preview, because myself, Chris Lee, and Blake Lovell, we preview every game each week in the SEC involving all the SEC teams. And of course, on Wednesday nights, we do our live show, 9 o'clock Eastern time, where we go really in depth on all these matchups and interact with people in the live chat. So without further ado, let's get to it. Like I said, you've got the Penn State Nittany Lions that are traveling to the Auburn Tigers. This game is going to kick off at 3:30 Eastern time. It is a CBS broadcast. It's, like I said, on Saturday the 17th. Penn State is opened up as a 3.5-point favorite on the road against Auburn. The over-under is only at 48.5. Even with that, guys, I think you would be safe to maybe take the under in this one. I think this is going to be where points are going to be at a premium between these two teams. These are two teams that really want to establish the run, so it's going to be a interesting matchup from that standpoint. Penn State 2-1 all time. They won last year 28-20 in a thrilling matchup early in the season up in Pennsylvania. So now we're going to see Penn State leave the friendly confines of Happy Valley and come over to the Plains there at Auburn. Tremendous environment, of course. Like I said, a rematch from last year. Styles make fights. Like I said, these are two teams that really want to be physical, establish the line of scrimmage. Nic Singleton, Tank Bigsby, two of the best young running backs there are in the country. Tank's been around for a while, but I mean young as in young men. Lots of juice in those legs. So it's going to be an exciting matchup from that standpoint, and some interesting quarterback stuff going on in here. You've got two teams that could potentially play two quarterbacks each. Robbie Ashford is going to see time for Auburn. We know, as we've seen in the first two games, Drew Aller has also seen time, one by necessity because Clifford getting banged up for a little while in that Purdue matchup, and then the blowout against Ohio last week. Drew Aller, one of the more highly touted prospects in all of America, coming in and is a freshman for Penn State. So we'll see how many quarterbacks play in this game. And then hot seat hold off. Penn State has not been living up to the standards over the last couple of years. You got to wonder how happy they would be with James Franklin if this one goes south and then they continue to not have success, in the Big Ten after this. And then, Bryan Harsin, it's no secret that boosters and people that were trying to get rid of him this past offseason have done a good job of what it seems like rallying the troops, kind of a us against the world type mentality with that Auburn team in this season. But whoever loses this game, the whispers will start either up in Penn State territory or over here down in the South on the Plains with Auburn. If whoever loses this game, the key players for some of these names are been around a long time. Like I said, Sean Clifford seems like he's been playing forever. TJ Finley, formerly at LSU, now at Auburn, won the starting job kind of surprisingly. People thought Zach Calzada coming over from Texas A&M would take that job, but TJ Finley has been the starter for the first two games, has admittedly not played his greatest, has thrown interceptions against Mercer and against San Jose State, and Auburn really had to work for that win against San Jose State when they were a 22.5-point favorite coming into it. Robbie Ashford has come in for Auburn and provided kind of a change of pace. He's been able to provide a boost with his legs. He was Auburn's leading rusher in that second contest against San Jose State. So no doubt there will be a package for him designed to run plays in this game, whether it gives him whether it's zone option type look stuff for him, or maybe some of the RPO game, little sprint out package, stuff like that. He's much more mobile than TJ Finley. So something to keep your eye out on for there. And then Katron Allen and Nic Singleton, two really good running backs for Penn State. Nic Singleton kind of becoming the workhorse there, more of the lead guy over there. And of course, everybody knows Tank Bigsby is maybe the best running back in the entire country, and is going to be a tremendous pro after this season. Tank Bigsby is special. He gets downhill in a hurry. It's really refreshing to see when Auburn gets under center with a single back way back 7-8 yards deep and allows that back to get going downhill. Much different than some of the more shotgun, standing start type runs that you see now with the patience in the zone read, but allowing a back like Tank Bigsby to get downhill, man, that just kind of gets people who are old school football fans excited a little bit to watch that. So it's going to be interesting to see whose run game kind of handles things better. Penn State offensively, in terms of playmakers, Mitchell Tensley and Parker Washington are electric at the receiver position, and Nehemiah Pritchett at corner, who's Auburn's top corner. And then, of course, you got guys like Donovan Kaufman in the secondary back there, who, even though he's a sophomore, he's providing leadership and stability back there on the back end for Auburn. So that's going to be a tremendous matchup. They're going to move. Penn State's going to move Parker Washington and Mitchell Tensley around, maybe match them up in the slot on some safeties and stuff like that. So it's going to be very interesting to see there. But TJ Finley, he's got to be able to find his weapons as well. Javaris Johnson, leading receiver through 2 games. He's got John Samuel Shanker that he can hit as well at the tight end position. Malcolm Johnson can absolutely fly, so they would love to hit him on a big play down the field. But there's going to have to be better production for that Auburn passing game. And then over on the Penn State side, Joey Porter Jr., very sure tackler from the secondary, does a good job in coverage as well. Linebackers Curtis Jacobs and Tyler Elsden do a good job for Penn State, but they're going to be tested in this one because Auburn's going to run the football and try to run the football some more. And it's going to be interesting to see who flinches first, kind of along those lines of scrimmage. Cam Riley, Owen Papo, two of 3 really outstanding linebackers for Auburn, and they're going to have to do a good job of making sure they contain Nic Singleton and keep Sean Clifford in the pocket as well, because when Clifford's able to get out and kind of create with his legs, that's when Penn State's able to have some success. Overall, I know that Penn State is a 3.5-point favorite. I know Auburn did not look good in their second game, but guys, I chalk that up more to kind of sleepwalking through a game against an opponent that maybe overlooking San Jose State, looking towards this game. Auburn's crowd is going to be tremendous. I'm just telling you that stadium gets loud, and it is going to be with the 3:30 start. The tailgating is going to be well in process over there, and I think that Auburn is going to have a tremendous environment. I think that Auburn's front can cause problems. Derek Hall, all those guys for Auburn can cause problems for Penn State's offensive line, prevent that running game from getting going, and they've just got to limit the big plays by Parker Washington and Mitchell Tensley on the back end. And ultimately, I think Auburn's run game is going to be the difference, whether that's Robbie Ashford breaking off some long runs, whether that's Tank Bigsby and Jarquez Hunter just moving the chains methodically and then eventually starting to gash people. But if they can get that run game going early, it's going to help TJ Finley if he can get some play action passes, get some shots down the field. Javaris Johnson and Malcolm Johnson Jr. So I'm really excited to see that matchup between those guys, Joey Porter Jr., that Penn State secondary. But ultimately, I think Auburn wins this one late. A little bit of that Jordan-Hare Stadium magic. Give me Auburn to win outright. Of course, cover, win outright, and that under on this game. I think it goes under the 48.5. So that is our preview here on Southeastern 14. Like I said, I'm Blaine Gilmer. Chris Lee, Blake Lovell, myself will be live on Wednesday night at 9 o'clock Eastern. Make sure you subscribe, turn on notifications, and we'll catch you guys next time on another preview or a live video or many of our other content items here on Southeastern 14.